Hey, Jen, how you doing? You look festive still. How's your day?
My mother-in-law just got here today, so we're Christmas part 2 today, so
Love it. Well, thank you for taking the time, Trinity, and working around the scheduling.
yeah, absolutely. Sorry about last week.
No worries. No worries. Glad to have you on. Have you had a good Christmas? Ours was actually the week prior to Christmas, and so I've been without any celebration for the past week.
We did the same. Yeah, I have 2 older kids, so they're 21 and 22. So getting their schedules worked out with everybody else's doesn't always work out the way we want it to. So they flew in on the 17th and went back on the 23rd. So
Okay. Gotcha. Any plans for New Year's Eve? Just with the family?
we're going bowling. We're gonna
Oh, fun.
gonna do family bowling, and I travel a lot with work, so when I'm home, I'm full family when I'm not working.
Love it. Sounds like a nice, easy, and chill New Year's Eve. I was just texting with my mom actually, and she's like, "Well, I've got this roast that I cooked. If you want to come over," she lives just right down the road, so might just do that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, nowadays, it's not I would love to stay up past midnight, but no.
About past that as well. Enjoying the early mornings and would like to start the new year fresh anyway. So,
Yeah, yeah.
well, hey, again, thanks for hopping on. Essentially, it's just a way for us to meet and get to know each other, and maybe figure out if we can work together someday somehow. But that's neither here nor there. Really, it's just to connect. So, again, thanks for being on. So, you said you travel a lot for work. Is that for as a realtor, or are you doing other things?
No, as a realtor, I'm licensed in 5 states, and I'm working on my 6th. So
Well, I mean, how does that work? Are you consistently frequenting those areas just so you kind of have some expertise, or
yeah, so I grew up with my family were military. Both my parents were Air Force. So we traveled about every 2 to 4 years. If I was lucky, I got 2 to 4 years at a place. But I was always really good at staying in touch with people. Even before we had AOL Messenger, I used to hand write messages to my friends. So even when I moved away, I stayed in touch with them. So I always kept those spheres, and when you get into real estate, they tell you reach out to your sphere of influence. And you know, while I would love to hand them out and refer them out, which I do in certain states, that I don't cover or work, for the most part, I pick up the states that I spent the most amount of time in my life. And I've been back and forth between different states. So those spheres and those friends. And then when Facebook came into play, like it allowed me to stay in touch with everybody more frequently than I used to. So that was always like a really great asset to my toolbox.
it's awesome that you were able to kind of grab a hold of your life circumstances and make it into a flourishing career as it seems you have, and you've been in real estate for about 13 years or something like that. Saw that you were a majority stakeholder in a construction company.
Yeah. So it's been like now it's going on 15 years that I did the construction company. So we owned an REO company that service Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac products. So I have the background of walking the houses and doing the punch list, what needs to be done, pricing it out, getting it over to the bank. We'd repair the houses so agents could then put the house back on the market and get full price for it without having to sell it just for cash. Because, when kitchens and bathrooms are missing, you're only selling for cash. Maybe conventional if it's a construction perm loan type thing, but for the most part, it's a cash deal. So they get more money. It works out for everybody. So I did that for 13 years and then sold the company to my ex husband. And I'd built all these amazing relationships with these incredible agents out there. And they were like, you should probably do what we do. And I was,
Hmm.
you know what? I probably should. So it kind of grew from there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And was it in the past 2 years or so that you've started getting licensed in all these other states?
Yeah. So Florida was my first state. I picked that up about 10 years ago. And then I picked up Colorado, which I used to own my office out in Colorado. We relocated to Colorado, to the Evergreen area. And I owned an office there for a few years, medical issues with my twin babies, due to the elevation, they couldn't get enough oxygen up in the elevation. So we ended up selling everything and moving back to the East Coast, which is where we live now. My home base is North Carolina. We do have houses in all the other states, but North Carolina is our hub. And I travel when my clients need me. Most of my clients are coming to me from referrals and other agents. So they're selling in other locations and they're purchasing near one of my locations. And so I know the second that they're in town or that they're booking their flights, I link my schedules with their schedules. I work as more of an exclusive agent when they're in town. I'm basically at their beck and call. I'm in town when they're in town. And I kind of look at it as a fun little tax write-off to be able to go home and see friends and family. So it's nice. It's a nice little loophole. I'm working, so technically it
Right.
yeah.
You must be racking up airline miles as well.
Yeah. So Frontier has this really cool program that's the Go Wild. And it's, during Black Friday, they sell it for like $399 and you can fly unlimited and just pay the taxes each port each way.
Wow.
That did work out really well for me because all of my specific states that I fly into have Frontier that fly into the airports. But lately, they haven't had the best like flights and, you know, time wise. So when I need to get in and get out, they don't always work out with my schedule. But tickets have been so cheap that, again, it's a tax write off. So I don't care at the end of the day. I need
Yeah, yeah,
enough write-offs at the end of the year anyway. I don't mind, and again, get to see friends, family, and work while I'm
yeah.
doing it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Exit Realty Elite, are they specifically, is that your brokerage and is that what's in North Carolina or?
No, so I'm actually within offices, across all of my states. Because, certain offices only cover certain MLSs. So like North Carolina, it's my home base. So I'm actually in 3 different offices in my state. I have one primary office, which is my Exit Realty Preferred office, and they're out of Fayetteville. And then I've got Keys of Carolinas, which is down over on the coast of North Carolina, like by Myrtle Beach area, but in North Carolina side. And then I've got the Exit Realty Elite, which is out of Concord. Then I'm with Exit Bayshore in Florida, Exit Team in Georgia. And then I've got Exit Coastal Properties in South Carolina. And then I've got Exit Realty DTC out in Colorado. So even though that office, I joined my sister office and still work out of Colorado. So
Wow. And just out of curiosity, being within multiple offices, say within a state or just in general, it's totally above board and ethical. And I'm not trying to like call out or anything. I'm just super curious about this because I'm like, maybe I should go spend some time in Tennessee where my dad lives, get to know the area and get licensed there as well.
yeah, and honestly, like that's not a bad idea. You probably should be doing that because
Right.
don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. And if you're only fishing in one fishbowl, you
Yeah.
get hungry. And so, the more fishing pools you've got out there, the more, lucrative your business is. And if you're good with time management and scheduling, then you're great. Not all of my states allow you to join multiple offices. North Carolina is one of those unique states that they do allow you to be in up to 4 offices, I believe, in the state of North Carolina. My bosses are all really great, and they all took a chance on me when I was like, "Hey, I know you don't know me, but I'd like to join your office and I'd like to join all these other offices." And, you get that initial response of, "Wait, but how does the territory get broken up? Which office gets fed?" And I'll tell you what, none of my offices complain. I feed all of my offices. There isn't one office that goes unfed. So I do deals in every office. Everyone is, it gets spread out based
Yeah.
on when I have clients, but there are lines drawn. It's divided in, my state of North Carolina, for example. That's only one of them in multiple offices. And that's one of the only state that I'm in that does allow it. And it is, I can drive there, right? So it's convenient. All the pieces kind of lined up. So it worked out really great. My bosses all work great together. So they're all friends outside of, because I'm an exit across the board, right? So, it's family. Like, even if it's not, it's family. And what's great is with an exit, and I know a lot of other brokerages are like this, that, you've got your quotas, your caps basically that you have to hit. All of my offices work together to cap and
Oh
to
wow.
my points and to go toward my awards. So it's definitely been lucrative, and honestly, like, COVID is what changed my business, right?
Huh.
We all went into lockdown. I, as an owner, was a non competing broker.
Mm,
So I felt the hit instantly. And my office had an overhead of about $10,000 a month. So if I didn't make at least 10,000 or my agents didn't make 10,000, I'm in the red. Um,
okay.
I don't lose.
Doesn't sound like it.
I had to hustle. And
Yeah.
I had a really great investor that I had worked with in Colorado. And he was like, listen, I love working with you. Like, I'm now pulling business because the way that Colorado it had gotten oversaturated, prices had gotten so high that there wasn't enough room for investors to fix and flip, right?
Mm,
So he was like, listen, there's a big boom going in Atlanta. What do you think about picking up Georgia? My thought process was, if any of my clients want me to pick up a state and you can guarantee me at least two deals out of that state a year, I'll pick it up. First
sure.
deal has me break even. Second deal, I'm profitable. And then anything after is icing on the cake. And again, tax write off, good to go home. Um, so it all works out really great. Georgia, even though I didn't live in Georgia like a big portion of my life, my sister lived in Atlanta. So I was like, oh, I get to go see my nephews and my sister, and kind of all worked out, and the pieces always kind of click. And they always say you're on the right path when everything starts clicking.
Sure.
If it's constant struggle, you're probably not on the right path. Something's
Good way
got,
to look at it. Yeah.
yeah, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome.
Insanity.
Yep, exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Uh, would you say that it's through like this investor or investor clients that you're getting most of the referrals, or actually are you getting? I know you mentioned before that they're selling their house in one place and they're moving to the state that you're licensed in. So you're really only working with buyers. You're not necessarily working with sellers, or are you working with sellers as well?
I do it both. I do it both. So basically, 90% of my business comes from other agents.
Okay.
Their clients are selling in Montana, Wisconsin, Idaho, and they don't hold other licenses in other states. But with an exit, we have a referral program. So as long as they're a licensed agent, I can pay a referral fee.
Sure.
So I'll pay a 25% referral fee to anybody that hands me a client, whether they're a buyer or a seller, because other people own multiple properties in different states, or they'll have power of attorney of somebody that they need to now get a house sold, or, so like right now, I think all of my listings are almost all under contract, but right now I think there's 7 standing. I just sold off a bunch because we are toward the end of the year and I don't
Yep.
get a big influx of listings. I have one going live today. So I get them constantly. And then as I work with those clients, they're like, oh, we love you. Here's somebody else. Or
Yeah. Yeah.
so if you do the right thing, the right things happen.
Oh,
So
that's amazing. I'll definitely use you as a referral for which of the other states that I might have a client going to. And a little bit about me. I've been a licensed realtor here in Austin for it's 5 years in January. And the brokerage that I was at is just kind of high volume. They did a great job of providing leads, but unfortunately, it got to a point to where it was so much going, and the commission splits, of course, were much lower because they were paying for such marketing and everything else and lead generation that you would turn listings and sellers and buyers over so quickly that sometimes they get lost in the shuffle. And so, hearing about how you're getting referrals left and right, and you're having people refer you out, it's definitely something that's on my, checklist. Like really work on actually connecting, and it's kind of hence this whole endeavor that I have here with the podcast as well. Uh, well, that's incredible though. What must be an exciting life? I mean, are you enjoying traveling around? Are you getting tired of it, or are you going to go as long as you can?
No, no, I love it, honestly. I did a couple of years in college for graphic design and then photography. And then I've owned other salons and stuff like that over the years. And all of those things and being able to connect with people and doing sales most of my life kind of like all led me into real estate. And it's been really a blessing how everything kinda connected. One of my children, is licensed in 2 states as well. I love to teach agents. I don't charge them anything. I love to have conference calls, like something like this, where it's like, "Listen." Just having those conversations sparks different ideas in us, right?
Totally.
And the one thing that I tell everybody is, in real estate, it's not about running the same hamster wheel. It's about making the wheel fit to the life you want it to. We all get into this business for the flexibility of it, but it's not easy money. We have to spend that 8 hours a day investing in our business. Because I guarantee the ones that are saying that they're not making money aren't spending 8 hours a day like it's a full time business, going out, meeting people, talking with people, socializing, connecting, building that sphere. They always say at the end of the day, people want to work with their friends.
Mhm.
How do they know you exist?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And especially with everything that we have technologically wise, online platforms, any social media, podcast. There's so many more ways to connect than ever before. And you're right, Trinity. If they're not making the money, then they're just not doing the work. And it's not that difficult, really. You just go out and do it. Sit in front of your computer for a little while, and get your brand out there, which is kind of everything these days, it seems. Well, that's great. I hadn't actually ever heard that you could do that, have multiple licenses in multiple states. Well, really, I would love to just, have this moment to connect. And this is what it was for. And I would love to keep in touch with you. One last question, if you don't mind. Are there any, well, what are you looking to do as far as growth goes in the next 6 months to a year? I know you said you're going to get licensed at a sixth state. Is there anything else that you're looking to do, improve upon? Any hurdles that you're still coming across?
Not really in terms of hurdles. I'm a problem solver and my brain runs a lot faster than most people. So I grew up having ADHD and just like constantly like ding 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 ding. Like my slow, like I'm having to like I literally have a little sign that has to remind myself, talk slowly.
Okay,
Because
that's awesome.
brain runs so fast. It's how I'm able to juggle everything. But in the next 6 months, I'm actually in the process of, with a couple of my girlfriends, we're going to be building a micro resort. So we're going more into land development. I'm using my background in construction. I'm in the process of trying to start a construction company again. The other one was with my ex-husband and trying to find a female contractor to partner with is the next challenge. But I like to have more control over my projects. I take on, like, with my clients, any of my clients that technically use me, like say they're buying an investment property for an Airbnb, I'll help style it for them for free, because I like the artistic, um, aspect behind all of that. I'll build them like an Amazon wish list. I'm like, here's everything you need. Pink, go ahead and send it. If you need help building furniture, I'll be there on Tuesday. But honestly, I can't really grow my business any more than it is. The only thing that can change is higher volume clients. And I have a 17-year-old daughter. She's getting ready to turn 18 and graduate this year. She's already started her real estate license. So she's going to be my little assistant. So I'm
Yeah.
helping develop her like I did my other son who holds Arizona and Florida.
Right.
So just honestly, just trying to find that work balance. It's easy for us to, what do they say? The grass is greener where you water it, but mm, you can't just put all your objects and eggs in one basket. I'm definitely, you know, trying to have more balance with home and work life. That's, I think the biggest thing for me is I can work.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, you have a lot of eggs in a lot of different baskets. So, and as the micro resort, that sounds interesting. Do you have a location for that, or what is that going to look like?
So we all finally just agreed. So we've narrowed it down to North Carolina or South Carolina, but we want to be able to have people be able to afford like it's not low income housing, but it's affordable housing, right? A lot of people have gotten into these mini homes, but the problem with mini homes are most of them are on a chassis, like a car chassis. So there aren't really a lot of developments where you can park your mini home, which we don't want that. That's not what we're building. We actually want to build mini homes that are on solid foundations where you can get a loan on them and be able to afford a house and have that 1 or 2 bedroom little tiny micro home that you need and gives you those options to be able to grow and have that affordability that, like in my area, if you don't have at least 300,000, you
Yeah,
can't find anything,
yeah.
and that's a shame. Like, I built my first house at 18, like,
Wow.
from the ground up. It was, inland homes, and I we built 2 houses side by side, my dad and I did, and, at 18, just turned 18, I had acting money, my Krugen account was released to me, so I was able to buy, a house at 18. I was really grateful and
Sure.
blessed, in that aspect. But yeah, nope, built a 4 bedroom, 3 bath house. I paid 120,000 for it. That house now, 600,000.
Yeah. And that's very altruistic. It's good of you to try to give back. And my dad was out. I'm a military brat. My dad was in the army in Texas and Fort Hood. Unfortunately, we didn't have to move around as much as you did, but maybe wish I had moved around as much. But he's been looking into or thinking about building something similar, or at least investing in something similar, especially to help vets or just anybody really. And you're right, because that house now that you built years ago is 600,000, and nobody can get into anything. And it doesn't seem that builders are necessarily thinking about that or want to even go that direction. They're just throwing up cheap 3.2s and selling them for 400K, and wiping their hands of it.
Yeah, and and I think it's really sad. And one of the downside, like my husband, he was a musician, so he used to travel a lot, like on tour buses and stuff. But you it's amazing how little you can go without, right? But you get that time, that bonding and all of that. But the problem is those tour buses, those mini homes, like if you go to a campsite, you can only stay there for so long and then it has to be moved off the property. I think it's 2 weeks. They don't allow you to stay more than 2 weeks. And if they do, they make you unhook, move everything, and then move to a different lot and then hook back up. And, you should be able to have a place to call your own. You should be able to get those tax advantages. And for us, the difficulty is going to come in with the county because certain counties have requirements to how small a house can be. So for us, once we find the land, then trying to get the county to be like, okay, yeah, we greenlight the project. You can absolutely build houses under 900 square feet or 600 square feet, 650, whatever it is we end up coming up with, where we have like 2 or 3 different designs that can be sold. We don't want it opened up to investors. It's not going to be an investor owned property. We don't want them bought up by people. We want
Sure.
people that can use those FHA loans, that they are first time home buyers. They do have a family. They do want all of those things to put down roots and have something that they can call their own. And rent has gotten so outrageous that it has forced a lot of people into van life and tiny home living. So to give people an option of having something different is a pretty pretty great idea. And I'm just hoping that we can find the right piece of land and then the county is like, yay.
Well, do you have a name for it? What's it going to be called?
We haven't gotten that far. So there's 5 like, it's me and 4 of my other
Nice.
girlfriends. And one of my girlfriends, her husband developed Vail, Colorado. So multi-million-dollar homes, beautiful ski resort. So, it's nice that we have that extra little push behind us to be like,
Totally.
"But you can do this." But I have the construction background, on my back end. My dad was also a builder for the military, so I literally grew up on
Yeah,
a
yeah, boy. Yeah.
so
See? Thank you so much. I see you're with your family. I won't take up too much of your time, but again, thank you for being here. This was really illuminating for me, and I hope we can keep in touch. Whether we send each other referrals or if I can pick your brain some more about the ins and outs.
absolutely, I'm always here. I love helping. I'm just a phone call away. And just so you know, I cover Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Colorado. And Virginia is in this works right now because I have a couple of clients that are waiting for me to pick it up. So
All right, so that's Georgia, Florida, NC's,
Colorado and Florida. And
Georgia,
then Virginia is in the works.
and which one is?
Virginia's in the works.
It works. Perfect. Well, I'm in Austin, Texas. So if you have anybody that's coming out this way, let me know, and I'll do the same for you.
Absolutely. I do have a big sphere from my dad used to run the Wichita Falls Air Force Base. I don't have Texas. So definitely love my Texas referral partners. So 'cause I do get them. So
Perfect. Well, you
yeah.
have a great rest of your holiday. Happy New Year. Good luck next year. It's going to be
y-
great.
You too.
All right. Well, thanks, Trinity. Talk to
Merry
you later.
Happy New Year.